The weight of dreams. The alarm didn't ring. It never did anymore. Arjun had sold his phone 3 months ago to pay for his mother's medicine. He woke to the sound of his neighbor's rooster. The same shrill cry that had marked his mornings for 28 years in this cramped settlement on the edge of the city. The tin roof above his head had 17 patches. Each one a story of monsoons survived. Each one applied with borrowed tar and fading hope. Arjun, beta, you're awake. His mother's voice came from the other room, though room was generous. A curtain divided their 120 square foot existence into sleeping and living spaces. Yes, Ma. He stepped outside to the shared tap, joining the line of 5 other families. The water would run for exactly 45 minutes, then nothing until evening. He filled 2 buckets, one for drinking, one for everything else. The mathematics of poverty were precise. By 6:30 a.m., Arjun was on his bicycle, pedaling the 8 kilometers to the construction site. The chain needed replacing, but that was a luxury for another lifetime. He had learned to anticipate its slips, shifting his weight at exactly the right moments. The city woke around him, the city of glass towers and coffee shops where a single cup cost more than his daily wage. He had learned not to look too long at those gleaming buildings. They made his chest hurt in ways he couldn't name. At the construction site, contractor Sharma was already shouting, "You're late, Arjun." "Sir, I'm 10 minutes early." "Don't argue with me. Your pay gets docked an hour." Arjun's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. He had learned that silence was cheaper than dignity. He needed this job. His mother's dialysis was in 3 days. And he was still short 3,000 rupees. The work was brutal. Carrying cement bags up 7 flights of stairs because the elevator was 4 materials only. Each bag weighed 50 kilos. Heavier than his mother. Lighter than his worries. By noon, his shoulders screamed, but lunch was only 15 minutes. He ate yesterday's rotis, now hard as cardboard, and drank from his bottle that once held expensive soda. Someone had thrown it away. He had picked it up. "Arjun bhai, you okay?" Raju, his co-worker, asked. "Just tired." "Aren't we all?" Raju laughed, but it was hollow. Raju had 4 children and a wife with tuberculosis. Somehow, knowing others suffered too made Arjun feel worse, not better. At 4 p.m., disaster struck. A plank shifted. Arjun fell, not far, just 6 feet, but onto rebar. Pain exploded through his left arm. He knew immediately something was broken. Get up, get up." Sharma uncle was there, not with concern, but with irritation. "We have deadlines." "Sir, I think my arm." "You think? Either you work or you leave. I'll find someone else by tomorrow." Arjun stood. The world tilted. He wrapped his arm with his shirt and continued working with one hand. What choice did he have? The government hospital would take hours. He couldn't afford private care. And he certainly couldn't afford to lose this job. He finished the day. Each movement was agony. Each breath was a negotiation with consciousness. By the time he reached home at 8 p.m., his mother took one look at him and began to cry. "What happened?" "Nothing, Ma. Just a small hurt." "Liar." But her voice was tender. "Come, let me see." She had magic in her hands. His mother, the magic of poor mothers everywhere who heal what poverty breaks. She wrapped his arm with old cloth. Gave him the 2 painkillers she had been saving for her own pain. Then she made him tea with the sugar they couldn't afford. "Ma, your dialysis money." "Shoo. We'll figure it out. We always do." But Arjun knew the mathematics. They never figured it out. They just survived at the cost of something else, meals skipped, medicines halved, dreams deferred until they fossilized into regrets. That night, lying on his thin mattress, Arm throbbing, Arjun thought about the engineering degree he'd almost finished. 3 years completed, then his father died. Someone had to work. Education could wait, they said. That was 8 years ago. He thought about Priya, the girl he loved, who married someone else because Arjun couldn't afford to marry. He couldn't even blame her. Love was a luxury, and poverty made you practical. He thought about the children he saw going to school each morning. Backpacks full of possibility. And wondered if his children, if he ever had children, would ride bicycles with broken chains and eat yesterday's rotis. The tears came quietly, like they always did. Poor people learn to cry silently. Walls are thin, and shame is heavy. 3 days later, at the dialysis center, Arjun was still short 2,000 rupees. The receptionist looked at him with practiced sympathy. "I'm sorry, but without full payment. Please. My mother. Rules are rules." He stood there, this young man with a broken arm and broken dreams, and felt something inside him crack wider than bone. Then a voice behind him, "How much is he short?" An elderly man, well-dressed, waiting for his own treatment. "Sir, 2,000 rupees. The man pulled out his wallet, handed over the money. "Sir, I'll pay you back. I promise. Pay it forward instead. When you can. If you can." The dialysis happened. His mother lived another day. Another week. Another month. But here's what poverty teaches you: kindness is memorable because it's rare. One gesture of humanity doesn't erase a system built on indignity. That man's 2,000 rupees bought time, but it didn't buy escape. Arjun went back to work. His arm healed crooked, he couldn't afford the doctor who would set it properly. Now it aches before rain, a meteorologist of pain. He's still on that construction site. Still making barely enough. Still cycling 8 kilometers on a bicycle with a broken chain. Still hoping. Because hope is the cruelest trick poverty plays. It keeps you going just enough to survive, but never enough to thrive. His mother asks him sometimes, late at night, "Are you happy, beta?" And he lies. "Yes, ma." Because what else can you say? That happiness is for people who can afford it. That contentment is for those who don't choose between medicine and meals. The story doesn't end with triumph. There's no lottery win, no sudden opportunity, no miracle. That's not how poverty works. Arjun is 28 now. He'll be 48 still on that construction site, if his body holds. 68 if he's unlucky enough to live that long with no pension. No savings, no safety net. This is the truth no one wants to hear. Some people work their entire lives. Sacrifice everything, do everything right, and still barely survive. Not because they're lazy. Not because they don't try. But because the game is rigged, and the house always wins. Arjun still dreams sometimes of finishing his degree. Of a job with a salary instead of daily wages. Of a home with a roof that doesn't leak. Of marrying and having children who never know what poverty tastes like. But morning comes. The rooster crows. The water runs for 45 minutes. And he pedals to work on a bicycle with a broken chain. Because that's what poor people do. We survive. Please like and subscribe for more real stories that matter.